I'm Ashish Sharma. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at VeriSmart. I'm from Delhi, India. I handle operations, fundraising and business development for the company. Prior to this, I was the founder and CEO of DolphinChat. It was a conversational AI marketing platform that got acquired earlier this year. So companies of all sizes, irrespective of the industry, want to monetize and create value from their customer data. But the problem is that they do not want to violate any privacy regulations. Google and Facebook have already paid billions of dollars. They've filled up the headlines with the news because of their privacy violations and consumer data that was breached. This is where VeriSmart comes into picture. We basically help organizations to realize the true potential of the data. We do this by creating blockchain-based data exchange platforms where companies can monetize their data without losing the ownership or the control. So essentially we bridge the gap which is there now with the new privacy regulations coming into picture, and we help them to have the control of the access of the data as well as the ownership. VeriSmart started as a company that worked with primarily telecoms and banks to digitize the customer onboarding process. And back in 2017-18, especially in India, there was a lot of time and money being spent on the onboarding of customers for banking or telecom services. A lot of physical visits were required, documents had to be shared, and what we came up with was a remote onboarding solution wherein using the internet you can provide all the documentation to the bank or to the telecom and you get a digital service delivery. So that is essentially where we started, and we then scaled. We went to onboard almost 6 of the top 10 banks and 2 of the top 3 telecoms in India, and once you are in the system you get to know more details. So that is when we understood that customer acquisition cost or the customer onboarding process is a much smaller game compared to how big the market is for the data that these enterprises hold. So that is how the transition happened from doing customer onboarding automation to getting into the data exchange. So I graduated in 2017, but I started my first company back while I was in my second year of college. This was 2016. We started Startup Launchpad for university students in Delhi, wherein we used to work with entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship cells and other universities to bridge the gap between entrepreneurship and students. One of the case studies that we are doing is in the insurance segment. So India had launched a vehicle ID system called FASTag. Talking about the current scenario, we are the market leaders with 42% market share in terms of the digital issuance of these FASTag around the country. We are working with 5 of the major banks for that. Now that ID is created for the vehicle, right? Now what we specialize in is creating industry consortiums where this identity can serve as means to run industries. So for example, the data that these banks have gained from onboarding these FASTag customers can be used for giving out personalized insurance offerings to these consumers, and that is one of the case study that we have active right now. We are already powering more than 500,000 transactions on a daily basis. So I think one simple mantra we have in the company is that to not quit, because that solves most of the problems. You keep at it, you try different experiments, and somehow something will click. But the main goal is to not quit. So in terms of challenges, that is our methodology, that is our mantra. In terms of challenges, the known challenges, we are working in highly regulatory institutions where they are very strict about rules and policies. So anything from procurement to deployment to launch, we knew that things are not going to be as per the speed that we want, and a lot of paperwork is going to come our way. So that is number one. Then obviously, since we are working in the blockchain technology, getting the right skill set in terms of the developers also was a known challenge. And then unknown challenges are something that founders have to do firefighting on a day-to-day basis. So there is no count on the number of unknown challenges. Okay, so it is an interesting story. We got invested in by Orbit Startups almost 2.5 years ago. Post that, we built the company, bootstrapped and built the company, scaled it up, and now we are operationally profitable. And now for us it's the time for hyper growth, where we are looking to expand and grow rapidly, create new industry consortiums across geographies. One piece of advice would be to be a cockroach. That is what William from SOSV always says, because whether it's a hurricane, it's an earthquake, or even if it is a nuclear attack, the cockroaches always survive. So it is basically how you survive and how you move ahead despite all the challenges. So that will be my one piece of learning for everyone.